Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the first episode of How to Make Money in Tech. So, I'm just going to be waiting for others to join us while I drop the announcement on the Den of Techies platform. So, we're waiting for others to just join us live. Yes, yes, yes. So, if you're joining us now, wherever you're joining us from, you're very much welcome to this interesting episode. First of all, I want to give a very big shout out to those who are coming from the Den of Techies platform, those who are coming from LinkedIn, X, WhatsApp, Facebook, whichever platform you're coming from, you're very much welcome. So, first things first, I want to see and meet everybody. So, if you're on this platform right now, kindly introduce yourself, your name, where you're joining us from, that is your country or your state, and so that we can meet you as well. And something very important as well, we have a guest speaker that I said I will be telling you about later on. I don't want to mention the name yet, but we're going to have the opportunity to meet him very soon. As soon as he comes on the back stage and he's ready for this amazing episode, he'll be brought up. Okay, so but without wasting your time and everything, like I said, I want to be seeing the chat, so I would read all the chats that I'm seeing. Let me quickly check the chats. Yes, yes. So let me hear your name and where you're joining us from. Let me quickly as well monitor from this other angle. If you can hear me loud and clear. Yes. All right. I see Felix from Nigeria, River State. Nice to meet you, Felix. Who else do we have here joining us? That's good. Interesting. Okay. Talk about niches niche. So now another quick debate that we should have about this is what exactly do we call it? How do you pronounce it? One, do you pronounce it as niche or do you pronounce it as niche? One, niche, two, niche. Maybe just drop that in the comments so I'll know how you pronounce it in your own way. I call it niche. And then when we say what exactly is your niche, what do we mean by that? So quick intro again. My name is Bernard Moneme. Some of you may know me as Benny the Data King. Some of you may know me as just Benny. Whatever you know me as is fine. But I'm not here to waste your time. I value my time and I'm sure you value yours. So therefore, I value your time as well. And I'm here to bring you value, 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 value. First question some people might be asking is what exactly is the den of techies? When we say den of techies, you can see I pinned something on the screen to join the den of techies. What is it? Den of techies is just basically, in summary, that platform, that group that's been created to bring tech people from different areas, that is from different niches, they come together to learn, grow, network, make money, and things like that. Because the truth of the matter is, in this industry, you cannot do it alone. And if you want to grow faster, or they say if you want to go the further distance, go with somebody. Yes. So back to our topic today. What exactly is a niche? When we say what is a niche, a niche basically, of course, in biology, in biology, it has a different meaning. It just has to do with that particular role or the function that an organism plays in the ecosystem. But when we bring it down now to something like this, our own world and our own view of things, what exactly do you mean by the niche that you belong to? Just simply means that function that you play in the society, or when we bring it down to the tech area, which particular area are you in tech? Because tech has different areas. There are so many. I'm just going to be mentioning a few. I know some people already have their own niche, but some people don't even know the niches to pick from. So we are here to serve both people. Like I said, Den of Techies is for everybody. Whether you are a pro or you're a beginner, all of them, we all started from somewhere. So just quick breakdown on the different niches that we have in tech. I would start with the basic. First of all, we have data. Data now on its own goes into different areas. We have things like Back to what we're talking about. First things first, what are the different niches like I mentioned? First of all, we start from things like data. Now, data on its own has different areas that we can talk about. Yes, so I can see him now on the back end. God sent. I already mentioned his name anyway, but I'm going to be bringing him up on stage in the next couple of minutes, and then he's going to have a proper breakdown on this particular topic, and then we'll discuss more. But like I was saying, there are different niches in tech that you can pick from. Data has different aspects. For instance, we have engineering, data science, data analytics. Depends on which one you want. Then we have things like UI, UX, cyber security, product management, AI automation. Those people that don't like to code, that is no code automation, digital marketing, and so on and so forth. At the end of the day, at the end of this episode today, you'll be able to make up your mind on which particular niche that you want to be in, because we're going to give you that particular framework and what can help you get into it. Now, how did I get here? First of all, that's the first question. So just give me a couple of minutes before I bring up the speaker and I will introduce him. So let's just warm things up as we're waiting for more people to still join us. First things first, how did I get here? How did I pick my own niche? How did I become who I am today? It started from somewhere. And you can only see it in hindsight now once you're looking at it, because particularly most things in life is when it is done or when you're done coaching people, you now be able to create something we call a framework. So I have a framework that I've created on how to pick a niche. And also, this was brought out from my own story. I dropped a story on LinkedIn about how I came into this aspect of my life, and I said I'm going to be dropping a more detailed gist on the stream. So it's better I drop the gist now without boring people out and then saying, okay, I did not keep to my word. So let me just drop the gist once and for all. What exactly happened and how did I get here? It started mostly during from my master's period. So one thing I also learned again along this entire story is that as a data person, there is what we call confounding variables. Makes you can That's what we call confounding different variables. And the first things first, during my master's degree, I was having what we call a practicum. That is my internship period, where I was going through training and then something like an internship, like an IT period, where I was going through training. And then the person there was started teaching us about RDBMS, that is Relationship Database Management System. And then it was just blowing my mind. I didn't even know what that was all about. And I just said, what exactly is all of this? So when I go home, I was just trying to gist to my brother about it, trying to find out. And then he was like, oh, okay. Then we just led to something, something led to something. And then he mentioned data analysis and also mentioned SQL. So that is one factor that started bringing about this. The second factor, again, and something else that happened again, is that when we were rounding up our masters, I was discussing with a colleague because generally you are allowed actually to give anybody that you like to analyze your research work if you want to. That's legally allowed, whether dissertation, thesis, or project. You can give anybody you want to. So what now happened to me? I gave out my own already. But I was discussing with a colleague and he said he's actually analyzing his work by himself. And I was shocked. I was like, are you kidding? How are you able to do that? So now I was thinking out loud in my head anyway. So because to me that was complicated, it was very hard. I didn't know it was something that you could do generally. Okay. So but later on I found out that okay, this is something that somebody can actually do. This is another factor, another thing again that happened in my life this period that made me to know that okay, this is something that can actually be possible. The third factor and something else that happened again in my life, like I said, it's happening from different areas. One thing will come here, one thing will happen here. So something else happened again is that At this point in my life, anyway, I was doing what we call crypto trading, and there's something called technical analysis. So technical analysis basically just has to do with when you are, you know, trading, and then you have to use the history of data to predict what will happen next, things like that. So you can see many factors were just happening in my life, things were happening. Then finally, the final thing, what that happened was that at this point during my masters, before exams, some people were already telling me, come and teach me statistics, meaning that I had my strength, my skill in something like statistics and my ability to teach and things like that. So I already started seeing where I was going to be. Now, all of this brings me to the framework that everybody should have when you're trying to pick a niche. What is that framework? It is the foundation and the first question that we ask. That's what I call the soil framework. SOIL. What exactly do you need to know before you pick your niche in the industry? The first thing, S, stands for strength. The second one is O, opportunities, I, interest, and then L, lifestyle. So I'm just going to do a quick breakdown before I bring up the guest speaker. What exactly is the soil framework? Soil, SOIL. What exactly is your strength? From my story now, you can tell that I already had my strength in things like statistics and ability to predict things and solve problems using data. So I knew where my strength was. So you have to think about it and ask yourself, first of all, what is your strength? What can I do? Once you find that out, you would know exactly which direction you can be picking from. Like I already mentioned, some different aspects of the niches that you can pick from. Another thing you can also ask yourself is opportunity, because we cannot be lying here. Everybody joining tech is joining for money. So if there's no opportunity, there's no options or opportunities in that industry, why are you joining there? So you have to ask yourself one important question. Is it that in this industry now, somebody has to get a job, or is it something that somebody can freelance, or is it to build a company or something? What are the opportunities available in that particular niche? You have to think about it. What are the opportunities there? What are the things that I can check for? And so on and so forth. For me, for instance, now I knew that even if I didn't get a job as a data analyst, someone that learned SPSS, I can help people analyze their work, their research. I can help people, give them here and there. So it is the opportunities in the digital data world that I can take care of and handle. Then we talk about things like I, which is the interest. Very, very important, because something people always ask me, which is funny, is they say, which one will I make money fastest, or which one will bring money fast? The truth of the matter, I will not lie to you. I'm your guy, okay? We're all guys here. We're all techies, okay? There is no one that will just blow you overnight. All of them, they have their headaches. So you have to be interested in it, and it's something that you tell yourself that even in the next 5, 10 years, I want to be introduced as this, and I'm okay with being that particular person. Okay, as long as you're okay with that and you're interested in it. So whether data hooks my neck tomorrow, I'm not leaving data. I'm already there for long till death do us part. That's how you have to think about it. That is this something I want to do for long term? Of course, nobody's saying you have to be stuck, but are you okay with doing it long term? Are you interested, really interested in it? That is one thing. Your interest. What do you like to do? You have to know, what do you like to do? All those things that you like to do is what piques your interest. Then the final one is your lifestyle. What kind of lifestyle do you want to live? Do you want to be wearing suit and tie? Do you want to be wearing cap and hoodies? Do you want to just be living on the beach? What kind of lifestyle do you want to live? These are the things you think about and ask yourself. So just a quick recap on what I said. 4 things you need to think about before picking a niche is what I call the soil framework. SOIL. S stands for your strengths, O stands for opportunities, I stands for interest, and then the L stands for lifestyle. All right. So with that being said, I know we have more people joining us now. So if you're joining us just now, please introduce yourself in the comments so I can meet you. Okay, I see Adetutu Yetunde from Lagos. Now I'm going to be bringing up our guest speaker. Let me make sure he's still backstage. This is somebody that I like to consider one of the biggest tech founders that we have right now at the moment. He's the founder of Zion Tech Hub. So let's see some fire and claps in the chat if you're here with us. And he's not somebody that started with a tech background. So he didn't come from computer science or engineering. He came like most of us or most people in the tech industry that are still thriving came from the medical and health industry. So, of course, his experiences will be more relatable than those who already knew that they must be in tech. Okay. And he's going to come to speak to us about some things. And I'm just going to ask him a couple of questions about his story. And I'm sure that you can pick things from there. So, without further ado, let's bring up God sent Undoma. God sent, are you here with us? I think your mic is muted, or I don't know if you're here. I know you're backstage, yeah. I've put you on. Are you here? I can't hear you yet anyway. All right, so we'll be having some technical difficulties. Okay, I can hear some sound now.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now better. Yes.
All right. Thank you so much for having me here. Really very excited to be here.
Yes, it's good to have you here too. So just a quick intro about who you are for those who are just meeting you for the first time. Who exactly are you, and just introduce yourself briefly so that they can know who you are
Yeah.
before we jump into the show.
Thank you so much. I've been listening to everything that you've been saying on the backstage and about the soil framework for identifying the niche and for your identifying your niche. And I think that really, really resonates with me because, like you said earlier, coming from a non-technical background, I had to like put all these. In fact, I didn't know it was a framework, right? But I think I considered every of these factors that you have actually mentioned while deciding which niche I want to go into. And again, this was a very big conversation for me, right? So I can really resonate and relate to this conversation today. I have a background in medicine and surgery, right? And then midway, somewhere around 400 level in medical school, I was asking myself a lot of questions as to what I really wanted to do in my life, right? I didn't really see myself practicing medicine like that, right? Because again, I went into medical school because my mom said, oh, there are beautiful opportunities here. A lot of doctors are earning so well. And again, well, maybe she was talking based on her experience in the generation and age and time when she lived. But when I went to the medical school, I was asking my doctors, right? People who are like already medical doctors and practicing. I was like, Chief, we used to call them Chief in medical school. I was like, Chief, how much is your salary? And then the doctor was going to tell me that his salary is 300,000 naira, 270 something thousand. I'm like, this, my mommy said doctors are making so much money. Guy, this is not the money, right? So I think from there, I started thinking about other alternatives to take, right? And then COVID-19 came. When COVID-19 came, everywhere was locked down, shut down. And I think that 1 year actually gave me a lot of time to think about what I wanted to do in my life. And then eventually I went into tech. When I went into tech, I did data analysis. And then I started my internship in a fintech. And that was where, again, this conversation becomes very, very important because with the background in medicine and then now starting my analytics career in a fintech, I found it very, very difficult to cope, right? And then eventually I realized that this niche was not for me, right? Financial analytics was not for me. So I was talking to my mentor one day about all the difficulties I was facing, trying to understand data, trying to like, because again, if you don't understand data and relate it to the context of that industry, then you find it so difficult to analyze the data and make sense of it. So I think like that was my experience. And then eventually she was like, okay, why not go and build a career in healthcare data analysis? I'm like, man, if there's healthcare data analysis, that's the one I want to do because of my background in medicine. So cut the long story short, she recommended that I should go on LinkedIn, connect with other healthcare data professionals, and then begin to learn from their journey and then see how I can build a career there. So, went on LinkedIn, spotted some people were also like medical doctors who were building the tech space and specifically in data. I connected with them, started learning exploring what the career opportunities look like. And then, I got my first healthcare job. It was remotely for a company in the United States. And I think that was really, really very fulfilling because I was now in a niche that I completely understand. So I could see the data and make sense of it even without analyzing the data. I could basically look at the data and tell you what's possible, even without running a single query or writing any single line of code. I could just tell you what's possible, right? Because I think that was like my domain. It just
That's
came naturally. So that's how the journey has been, and then eventually set up Zion Tech Hub to also like help people gain valuable skills, and then how to like help them to explore global opportunities. So that's just been that's like a brief about me.
all right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's actually very brief, and I'm sure many people have gained value from it as well. Because the truth of the matter is that your story into tech is mostly never ever straightforward. There are so many factors and things that would make you just get into tech. And like I said, this framework that I created is not what I used to get into tech. I'm looking at it in hindsight. After discussing with many people, I had to just craft out something that will help people and make it easier for them to make decisions about how to get into tech. Yes. And also like your niche, the particular area you go into something like data is also very, very important as well. Now, the other question I have for you that I just wanted to drop some lines on now, because let's say that you're starting fresh now and you're not in data, or which other niche would you choose, or what niche would you actually choose if you're starting all over?
Okay, so if I'm to start all over, personally
Yes.
for me, right, I think I might still do data because I really love data. But again, as someone who have also been a part of like recruiting, currently I'm part of the founding team at the Next Talent, and basically what we are doing is identifying very smart people and connecting them to like opportunities all around the world. And my role cuts across having like high level conversations with like CEOs in Canada, US, UK. So I understand a gap, right? And so there's a lot of opportunities in like GMT engineering, right? There is a lot of opportunities in GMT engineering. There's a lot of opportunities in digital marketing orchestration, like not people who are basically running campaigns, but people who do it like a full stack digital marketing from the lead generation to conversion to analytics to understand customer behavioral patterns and every of those. So there's a whole lot of opportunities to around there. And there's also a lot of opportunities around SDR, right? A lot of opportunities around SDR as well, sales development representative. So right now, like these are like top roles on our chart at the Next Talent. These are like roles that are very, very hot. We also have, like you mentioned, AI engineering, but in in the data space, one of the roles topping the chart is analytics engineering, right? So companies are like increasingly looking for people who sit at the intersection between data analytics and data engineering. So we call them analytics engineering, right? So that's like another very, very hot cake opportunities right now, because a lot of companies are building AI agents, and the quality of the AI agents that you can build as an organization is dependent on the quality of the data. And so the AI engineers are able to like build systems that are able to like collect very high quality data and help like build very solid models. So that's just what I can say on like from my own
All
experience. These are like very, very hot take roles.
right. Thank you very much. So you can see God's sense is very very, very intelligent in this aspect of picking things, picking his strengths and knowing where his strength lies. So that is another thing about this tech coach. So as I'm sure you coached a lot of people and somebody as a founder that owns a platform like Zion Tech Hub, many people use and also TEDx, but you're also connecting talents and things like that. You must have come across a lot of beginners in this field. So I just want to find out from you, what are maybe some common mistakes, maybe one or two mistakes that you've noticed that beginners who are not yet come into the tech space yet are having? Something that people can easily avoid. So some of those mistakes that you've noticed along the line in this industry.
Okay, so I think what I see is that a lot of beginners are just caught. Okay, but you after this section today, a lot of people are going to be motivated and they are going to be like, I want to start learning tech right now and I want to start my tech career. And most likely, what a lot of people are likely to start doing is get caught in the learning loop, right? They
Okay.
go to Coursera, they go to Udemy, and they learn and learn, watch video, go to YouTube, watch video, and you become so overwhelmed. You go to LinkedIn, they are telling you, oh, don't learn this one, learn this one. Oh, this one is outdated. AI is going to take away this one. You learn this one. And then you go on X. X is saying, no, this one is going away. Learn this one. And then you as a beginner, you're like, oh my God, what's really happening?
Too
Like
much.
you now, this one you've been learning 60% the way you drop it and then you jump to this one because everybody's talking about, oh, this is the one you have to learn and all. So I think that's like the loop I find a lot of people in, and I think that's why I also like appreciated what you said earlier about not jumping on the trends. You deciding and say this is what you want to do. Of course, because of the lightning speed at which AI is moving, there is going to be a need for us to remain adaptable and continue to evolve. But that evolution doesn't mean jumping onto every shining tool or anything any influencer on X says, and then you like, okay, any course anybody is talking about, you jump on it and also you have to tell yourself and say, okay, this is what I want to do in the long term, right? And then you write it on the rock, and then you start learning. You have a roadmap and say, okay, this is what I'm going to do, and in the next 3 months, I should be able to finish. I must have been able to learn all the things I need to learn and then build projects, right? So projects are very, very, very important. I see a lot of beginners when they apply for roles, they come to tell you and say they are job ready. But if you're job ready, then you have to show portfolios, right? Especially for those of you who are looking to explore international remote opportunities. No international recruiter is going to listen to you on the grounds that I have learned it, I have a certificate. That's bullshit. You have to show proof that you've learned. So that spans across data analytics portfolio. Those of you who might be interested in digital marketing or SDR, sales development representatives, we want to see email, we want to see your marketing campaigns, right? How you launch those campaigns, what was the strategy for those campaigns, what was like the first principles, how did the campaign do, how did you respond to like the things that didn't do well. Like, so these are like everything we want to see. And if you don't have that, then it doesn't matter whether you have spent 1 billion hour learning, we just say you're not good enough.
All right. So thank you very much for that point. You just brought out a very important point, which is no be church or chore, show proof, show workings. So that is one very important mistake as well. And I believe a lot of people will take note of this because at the end of the day, there will be no way for you to build proof if you are jumping from one place to another. In 1 month you are here, the next month you are here. You need to spend time in a particular place. Yes, like I said before, your interest. Your interest should be where you spend time. As you spend time there, you will now build this project, you build proof so that people will know you and align you to that particular industry, align you to that particular niche. And that's exactly how things get better. All right. Thank you very much for the insight. So my first question, which is not to the last, I have just one more question, two more questions for you. This first question now, just to find out from you now. Let's say there's somebody here or somebody watching this later who is confused about where to start. They're just thinking, I've heard data, I've heard UI, I've heard digital marketing, I've heard this and that one. And they're just confused. How exactly do I start? Now, what advice do you have for them? Maybe one, two, three. You know what advices you have for them that would guide them to stop feeling confused and feel better.
All right. So I think what you need to do to get started is first, you have to do a self evaluation, right? You have to do a self evaluation and ask yourself, what really do I like? Right? So for some of you, you're going to realize when you do the self evaluation that maybe you like designs, right? And so if you like designs, then well, you should pursue a career in product design, you should pursue a career in UI UX design, right? And maybe you're also very innovative. Me, for example, I'm very, very bad at designs. I don't even know color. There are sometimes you show me a color, I'm like, this is brown. And my girlfriend is going to be like, babe, this is not brown. I'm like, oh, this is not brown. Okay, so
That's
I'm really, and that is why in data analytics, visualization is actually one of those very core aspect of data analytics, right? I I build dashboards, but when you look at my dashboard, you're going to be like, is it Gossen that built this dashboard, right? Because again, it's not that very fancy as other people are going to build, right? And so you have to ask yourself, what exactly am I really, really interested in? Some of you you're very curious as to how things are basically automated. Things just basically move from point A to point Z without anybody touching it. And then maybe you should pursue AI automation, right? There are a lot of no-code AI automation. I heard Bernard talking about them. You can use N8N, you can use Zyper, you can use Monday.com. There are a whole lot of them, right? That you can actually learn about automation and build real projects without you learning how to code, right? And then if you are interested in coding, then you can go into like the core aspect of AI automation where you have to like do a whole lot of coding. So these are the things too. And if you're also interested in coding, right? If you're interested in coding and you think that maybe you have like a bit of technical background and you want to build on that, then fine. There is a whole lot of things that you can do around agentic agents, right? You should learn Python at least for the start, right? Start learning Python, start building projects using Python, start using Python to automate simple things. And then from there, of course, you can like push it further, right? And if you're not really interested in coding, but you like numbers, right? Most of you already work in organizations where you see data every single day, right? And maybe you're curious as to, okay, all this data my company is generating, what even happens with this data afterwards, right? Then maybe data analytics is going to be an interesting aspect for you, right? Where you're going to learn how data is being analyzed, how insights are extracted from data, how stakeholders and management use this insight to make informed decisions, right? So if that's an area for you, then fine. You can actually pursue that area. So tech is very, very broad. Tech is very, very broad. There is a lot of aspects that you can actually like delve into based on your interest. But just like what Bernard said, you have to also think about the opportunity. So your interest might be valid. But if you tell me and say you want to do cybersecurity, oh, I like cybersecurity. I like the way I always think about, oh, cybersecurity might be very good, but you're not going to get so much opportunity like that. Why? Because in Nigeria, nobody really cares about cybersecurity. And your next option for opportunity is going to be international organizations hiring you as a cybersecurity. I can tell you for free, no international company hires a cybersecurity expert outside the country, outside that country. The reason is because cybersecurity is a very, very, very sensitive position. A company in the United States or in UK or in Canada, no matter how small they are, they're not going to make it a cybersecurity expert because you can shut down things from wherever you are, right? And basically they can't even reach out to you because you're 1,000 miles away. So these are also some of the things that you have to like consider when you're going to a path. So cybersecurity, and then you jump into it and say, oh, you want to do cybersecurity. What are the opportunities there, right? In your country, Nigeria or in Ghana, how much opportunities have you seen? Have you seen in cybersecurity, right? And if you're talking about remote, I know nobody's going to hire you outside. So you have to put all these things together and then make those fine decisions.
All right. Thank you very much. I'm sure that has helped a lot of people clarify so much any confusion you've been having before. With what I've said and with what God sent has said, by now you cannot still be confused about which niche should you pick, or you should be having some thoughts. You should be writing some things down and telling yourself, okay, this is good, this is not good. How exactly do I direct yourself? And of course, if you still need more advice or you still need maybe one-on-one mentorship and you need guidance, you can search God sent Udoma on LinkedIn, send him a message, and he can always guide you, or you can send me a message or then of Tech this platform, the link is there. I'm always available to jump on and help you out. Right. So I'll ask the final question, but let me just give a shout out to those we have from Ghana here. I can see Richard Mensah, well, from Ghana, and I see Wesley Tunde from Lagos. Okay. So my final question to you before we wrap up this session, because I don't want people to spend so much time here. I just want everybody to go and chill and then enjoy their Saturday. But many people are interested in getting into, with advice, don't jump into the next trend. Don't jump into just because it's trending. But there are certain things that people decision based on what exactly is becoming valuable over the next few years. So my question to you is this: which particular skill do you see is becoming more valuable than somebody that is just getting into tech? Can jump on and then they can stay for the long term and still benefit from. So which particular skill is becoming more valuable over the next couple of years?
Okay, so that's a very big question, and I'll be honest with you. There is a lot of conversations like this globally, and I'm going to tell you that I don't know the answer, because if I know the answer, I'm going to be a multi-millionaire for real, a multi-millionaire or billionaire in dollar. But I can share my thoughts, right, as to what I think. AI is getting better every single day. And the truth about it is that AI is going to get better, like really better in a couple of years to come. Especially how we know is because we are seeing the tremendous funds, right, being invested into AI labs, right? And then we're looking at the funding circles. We're asking ourselves, where's this money coming out for real? But all this money, for like, we have never seen an investment like this in the history of the world, right? Going into Anthropic, going into OpenAI, going into 11 Labs. And so we just know that AI is going to become something very crazy, right, in the decades to come. And that's what the world is predicting. Now, if that happens, what is going to happen is that AI is going to shrink. AI is going to shrink a whole lot of jobs as we know them, right? A whole lot of conventional and traditional jobs as we know is going to disappear, and that's also the prediction that the World Future of Jobs is actually making as well, right? So if you go and read the Future of Job report by the World Economic Forum, you're going to also see that they are saying that a whole lot of jobs is going to disappear by 2030, right? That's actually because of the massive adoption of AI. Now, what skills will remain very relevant? Now, at the foundation, it's always going to be domain knowledge. And that is why when we are asking you to pick a niche now, right, the fifth conversation of picking a niche has become so important because AI has made things crazily easy to build, right? Some of the people before used to be AI tech consultants, right? Companies would fly them all over the world to come and consult on projects and tell how systems will be built and all. Those guys are out of job now, right? Because AI is doing every single one of those things. In the company where I worked, we had like an engineering team of 16 people, and we wanted them to build like Nico. Nico is the agent we are basically using for our hiring process and all of that. And this whole thing, we're basically taking 2 months to build the product. And we got like so angry with them and like, why are you spending so much time building the product? Yaga yaga. Cut the long story short, we built the product. I don't have like core AI engineering skills. Like I don't have a skill in software engineering, but we built this product using Lovable, right? And in 48 hours, the software was ready and we shipped it, right? That tells you that now people who are even non-technical are beginning to build very technical solutions. So AI has basically closed that gap. So what the future will look like and what the future will reward is people who bring domain knowledge. So let me come again to my area, like data analytics. At Project Hope right now, where I work in the United States and also contributes to like a lot of projects ongoing, we currently have something called agentic analytics. So agentic analytics is basically an AI agent that can do everything, right? So the AI agent is basically able to collect our data from different sources, integrate it into a central repository, clean the data, analyze the data, spot trends and patterns, and then make informed decisions for stakeholders, right? So our data team is just basically sitting down and then seeing a machine do the whole analysis, right? Now, how do you become valuable? You become valuable in that context if you have causal inference and system thinking. What that means is that beyond the ability to extract insight from data, that you are also able to tell how that insight is going to affect the business, right? And then what the business needs to do. So we call it business operation. So you have to be able to now take those insights generated from those data, apply them in the context of the business, and drive outcomes for stakeholders, whatever the outcomes are going to be. It can be profitability, it can be cutting down costs, it can be resource management, whatever it is. But your ability to now take those insights and then apply them into the world and drive actions is what stakeholders are crazily craving for right now. And to do that, you're going to need a level of domain knowledge, you're going to need a level of experience, you're going to need a level of enthusiasm. And that's why we are saying, okay, go for what you're really passionate about, because it's going to break you, right? There's going to be a lot of learning curves, right? But if it's something you're passionate about, you want to make that sacrifice, right? So yeah, and personally, again, I don't like on-site. If you give me a job in where I have to go to the office every single day, guy, even if you're paying me 10 million, I'm going to take it down. So that also talks about lifestyle. I don't want to leave my house. I just want to stay in my house and do everything I have to do, right? And so, which means the skills I'm learning, I have to ask myself, are these skills valuable on the global stage, right? Can I apply these skills I'm learning? Can I apply for it to a company in Canada, to a company in the United States, to a company in the UK, right? Are they going to find these skills valuable? So that's also something you're going to consider. And I think putting all these things together, you should be unstoppable.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you very much. This has been a very amazing conversation, and I'm sure that those who have stayed to this end or to this point, they must have gained a lot of value. Of course, it's going to be a recap session where all of this video is going to be available for you to rewatch in the network of 15 minutes, but it doesn't really matter. It's going to be available. So Thank you very much, God Sense, for coming up to this amazing session.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, and it's been an amazing session to have you on board, and I believe others have gained value as well. So let me just recap um, something very interesting from what everything has happened tonight. What exactly is the big recap and things that you have to take home? What are you taking home now? Let it not be like we just came here to talk for talking's sake. First things first that you need to know is that there is nothing like a perfect niche. If you want to pick a niche, you have to ask yourself four important questions. And that is what brought us to the SOIL framework, which is SOIL. See, I can even spell soil. Strengths, opportunities, interest, and lifestyle, which you just mentioned lastly now as the lifestyle. What kind of lifestyle do you want to live? What are the interests that you have? Those things that you're interested in. Make sure that you're actually interested in it and you can stay in it for long term. What are the opportunities in that particular niche? Are there opportunities there? Don't just go and pick something that you will now start regretting. Pick something that you can freelance on it, or you can get a job on it, or you can build a business around it, and it will still so you still survive. With one particular niche, there are different ways to make money from it. You don't just have to say you must do 9 to 5 for that particular job. What else can you do with that particular skill you've gotten? Think about the opportunities around it. That's another thing. But if you like 9 to 5 and you want to depend on that, that's also fine and good. Then your strength, or we say interest. What are you interested in? That's what I mentioned now. Then your strength. What can you do? Tell yourself the truth. Like he said, self evaluation. What are the strengths that you have that you can tell yourself that, like me, for instance, if you give me statistics, I can teach people statistics. I can teach people anything about data, blah. So I know that that is my strength. I started from time, even before I became a data analyst, people have been coming to meet me. Come and teach me biostats. Come and do this one. Before I even finished learning it, my colleagues were asking me for it. So I started finding out my strengths right from time that I didn't have problem with maths, mathematics and further maths. We were only two that wrote further maths in my secondary school, in WAEC. So I was part of the people that wrote further maths. If you didn't write further maths, anyway, I'm not saying you need further maths to do data. Oh. I'm just saying that I will not be one of those people that will tell you that if you hate maths, come and enter data. No, you cannot hate maths and be in data. What you can do is that you don't need too much maths to be in data. Yes, every field might need some form of mathematics because you need critical thinking. So you just need it. Nobody's saying you must go and do that. I'm just telling you that I saw myself interested in those kind of things. So whatever you are interested in, or whatever you have strength in as well, then you know that this is where I'm going to be. Another thing again is based on this interest is if you're not interested in it, how exactly are you going to build your portfolio? Because it's not the church. Nobody is going to tell you, pay you just because you can. Okay, they can pay you for talking anyway. Some people get paid for talking, but they will not pay you for that particular skill that you want to do. So if your skill is talking, I show evidence that you can talk. Start talking now. They'll pay you for that one. But if your skill is maybe like something like digital marketing, you want to show that you can do analysis, you want to show you can build a product or something, you must have evidence. There's GitHub, there are other places you can store it, or you'll create a small website. AI can do these things for you now. You just have to create proof that you can do it. That is something else that Mr. Godsent mentioned. Then another thing, don't compare your journey to somebody else's journey. People started since. You might mistakenly go and start comparing yourself with someone that started 10 years ago and you just started today. That is already, you're going to just put yourself in trouble. So that should not be done at all. Just compare yourself to yourself of yesterday. So I'm comparing myself with how I was last year. I'm far better. I'm not comparing myself to any other person in the industry because I know that we are moving at different paces. Everybody's life is different. And then consistency, like we mentioned, it matters more than just choosing the hottest. Like God said, if he knows the particular niche, he'll be a billionaire. Everybody, life is all about guesswork, trial and error. But from what we can see, as people that study and do research, we can see that AI is the future. AI is in every niche. If you are doing marketing, AI is there. If you're doing data, AI is there. If you're doing product, AI is there. Everywhere you're going, AI is there. What does that tell you? It means that you must integrate AI into your skill set. You must integrate AI into what you do. I use AI for analysis. I use AI for reports. I use AI for different things. It doesn't take over my brain, but I still use it. So this is a quick recap of everything that's been discussed today. and I hope you had an amazing time. I'm not going to waste your time. These our streams will last for only 1 hour. I wanted to make it 30 minutes, but I felt sometimes we may just watch things and not be able to go deep into the topic. So I'm keeping the streams at 1 hour maximum. Yeah. So if anybody has any questions or anything you want to talk about, I can see others are just joining us now. If you have any question, you can just drop it in the chat and I'm going to answer those questions and let you know more. Now, if you enjoyed tonight's session or if you enjoy seeing you want to vibe with other tech people, maybe you're just joining now. If you want to vibe with other tech people, you want to learn, you want to network, or you want to grow with other techies, join the den of techies. That is why this community was created. It's not just about we're having free sessions like this. You can send a message on WhatsApp now to the number on your screen, which is +234 810-504-3903, and you would have a link to access the platform. It's a very simple and straightforward process. It take you less than 2 minutes, and you are already on the WhatsApp group. Okay, so don't forget to join the WhatsApp group as soon as the link is sent to you. That is very important. Now, that is where we'll be sharing things like updates and opportunities, resources, and the future episodes that will be coming out. Because this is not where it's going to end. I didn't mention it before, but let me mention it again. This is a 10-episode series, meaning that this is just episode 1. This season name is called How to Make Money in Tech. Episode 1, how do you pick a niche? Because that is the foundation that everybody that wants to enter tech would ask themselves and find out first. How do I pick a niche? Where do I stay? So once you can answer this question, then we'll now get into deeper topics along the line. Okay, so we are here to have fun, we're here to enjoy ourselves. Some people will join the Den of Techies platform and they'll be forming ghosts. You cannot be doing ghosts there because this industry, you spend most of your time indoors. You hardly have time outside. The only time I really go outside is not to gym or to buy food or maybe to go to church. That is the highest time you have outside these days. Most of the time you spend it inside. So as you're inside, as you're pressing your phone, relate to people. So we can start fixing maybe not only virtual hangouts like this, but we can fix physical hangouts. People in Lagos, we might hang out. If you're in Ghana, you can create a small group there. Ghana people hang out, Lagos, Abuja people. That's how we'll just be doing it. So that's how the platform, and when opportunities come, I'll share it there. Because people sometimes just send me, how far, Benny, do you know any digital marketer? I don't know anyone. Or if I know, I'll post on my status and allow it there. But now instead of posting it on my status, I can bring it to the platform and tell people, others might have other things like that. They want to build an app, they want to collaborate. Where do you meet the people? I'll tell you for free now. I have 2 products I'm building, a learning management system and also Foodie NG. You might have heard of it. Only me as a data person cannot build it. I need UI UX, I need front end, I need back end, I need product. All of these things are things that we need, and that's why we need ourselves as the entire tech space. So if you want to work 9 to 5, don't worry, we'll give you the opportunities and the jobs. But if you want to build a product, you want to build something that you own, then be in the Den of Techies. And I guarantee you that we are going to put our minds together, build a product. People that build unicorns like Jumia, Moneypoint, OP, they don't have 10 heads. They are tech people, and we can't. So if you're in the game and you're ready to build for the long term, Den of Techies is where you should be. And I guarantee you that you cannot regret hanging out with me. It's not possible because I'm here for the long run and we shall make money together. That's one thing that you need to know. So thank you very much for joining tonight's episode. Some people are just coming late, but this has been episode 1 of how to make money in tech, and I'll see you in episode 2. Have a good evening. Enjoy your night. Good night, everybody. Bye for now. If there's anything I'm missing, I'm just going to say it before I end the stream. Let me quickly think. What am I missing? What have I not said? I think I've said everything. I didn't see any questions here to answer, so I think I'm just going to end the stream. Some people are still here with me. You are here with me. I did not see your name in the comments. But I'm ending the stream now anyway. But if you have questions, talk about it, or we go in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bye.